Okay, Sarah, thanks for joining me today to talk about what's going on at Cancer Council Victoria. We're currently working with you to identify a new CIO for the business. And today we're going to talk a bit about that opportunity and also just learn a bit more about Council Victoria. I was actually reading that more than 35,000 people are diagnosed with cancer in Victoria each year, which is an incredible or staggering statistic. And it makes you realize it's a disease that quite literally touches everyone in one way or another, either directly or through family and friends. And it's something that I guess that really makes you stop and think, stops you in your tracks. It's an incredible work that you're doing there. And I guess through that, Council Victoria is a very recognizable brand. It's very highly respected, as well as having that international reputation. And I read that your mission is around preventing cancer, empowering people, and saving lives. I guess my first question is maybe if you can help us to understand how that mission translates into the services that you provide.
Thanks. That's a great question, Anton. We're quite a broad church at Cancer Council Victoria, and we work across three large pillars, which are research, prevention, and support. And we also do a great deal of advocacy and, that supports those three pillars. So what I'll try and do is link into some of our more well-known programs to try and give you a flavour of what that looks like. So Cancer Council Victoria is the largest not-for-profit funder of cancer research in Victoria. So we proudly invest almost $24 million a year in cancer research. In addition to providing research grants to the best and brightest researchers across the state, we also conduct research internally, and we specialise in dry bench research, particularly behavioural science and epidemiology. And most people do now know what an epidemiologist is after the pandemic. They became the rock stars of science during that pandemic. So we have them here. We've under the prevention banner, we've got a number of programs such as QUIT, SunSmart, Live Lighter, Rethink Sugary Drinks, and quite a number of screening programs. One that you probably will have seen on the television a lot is the bowel cancer screening adverts. And these programs educate the community about how they can cut their cancer risk. There are more than 175,000 Victorians currently living with a personal history of cancer. And this figure increases each year because of our country's growing and aging population, as well as the improvements we're seeing in prevention, early detection and research. More and more people are living with cancer. As more people live longer with the long-term effects of cancer and its treatment, the need for support services like, for example, Cancer Council's 131120 number become more and more important. So with 131120, you're only a phone call away from an experienced cancer nurse who can provide reliable information and compassionate support to anyone affected by cancer, whether you be a patient, a survivor, a carer, or a family member. Our nurses guide people to the right help and services. This might include connecting them with others for peer support, helping them to understand treatment options in preparation for medical appointments, loaning them a wig, or providing financial counselling to manage the cost of cancer, because we're finding that people are finding it harder and harder. Studies have shown that our 1311 service helps to reduce worry, fear, or burden through reassurance, normalizing, or meeting information needs. Acting as expert navigators through our health system, educators, and compassionate communicators. Our nurses help people to better understand their situation and discuss it with their healthcare teams and their family and friends as well.
That's incredible. Again, I guess the initiatives you've spoken through there. You see them. You see them every day, and it's incredible just to. I guess I've never probably stopped and reflected that all does come back to the Cancer Council Victoria. The work you do is phenomenal, and helping so many people going through such a tough time in their lives as well. And I think what's also incredible is not only do you achieve all those things and the impact you have on people's lives, but also as a business, I was reading that you were recognized by the Voice Project as the 2021 Best Workplace Award. So congratulations for that as well. It's for everything else that you do. How would you describe the workplace culture at Cancer Council Victoria?
Oh, well, in the first place, we were honoured to be awarded by the Voice Project with the 2021 Change Champion Award and 2021 Best Workplace Award. So our culture is one which prioritises kindness and connection.
Yeah.
And kindness was crucial in supporting our staff through the difficulties of the pandemic lockdowns. Keeping connected to the culture and the big impact of their work was also crucial throughout the lockdown. As you say, when you do such important work, it helps you to make sense of the world and why you're going to work every day. Our values of excellence, integrity, and compassion don't just guide our work with the public, but also how we operate internally. Now, I've been with the Cancer Council for 10 years, and one of the things that has always struck me when people visit here, and they can be our auditors, people that you meet in every walk of life, but they always comment on how they feel when they're here, and they meet the staff, that people will speak to them in the lift, in the corridors. They always comment on what a wonderful place it is to visit.
Yeah, fantastic. And I mean, again, just spending a bit of time getting to know you, it's the culture really does come through, just with your passion for the work you're doing there, but also the humility as well, is quite apparent. And you mentioned the values, excellence, integrity, and compassion, obviously being at the heart of the organisation. I guess thinking about the role that we're searching here for you for the CIO, naturally an individual is going to align with those values. That's important. But in addition to that, what additional strengths would you value within the CIO role?
So I think I've thought about this quite a lot. So strategic thinking is really important. The ability to make sense of the world around us and how we can use the technology that's available to support the delivery of Cancer Council's strategic objectives. Our CIO needs to be able to pursue an agenda of collaboration, shared purpose, and direction with the whole business. So then that's what makes us think about innovation. And we need to support the business to optimize the emerging technologies that are out there and strive for new and better ways of working at Cancer Council Victoria, so we can continue to deliver our research, prevention, and support. And finally, the third one that I think is really important is communication, so that you can communicate that strategic direction, that innovation to the business that aren't technologists. Our CIO needs that ability to communicate clearly, to actively listen, and to respond with respect to compassion. The people you work with here are, as you've said, extremely passionate about what they do. It is what brings them into work every day. So that communication piece is important. Our CIO needs to be able to negotiate confidently and persuasively, both internally and externally.
Yeah, fantastic. And you touched on there the importance of communication, and I guess in the hybrid world that or working world that we now exist in, that communication skill becomes even more important to be able to reach everybody. And I understand as well that you have established a digital and technology strategy at Cancer Council Victoria. And you've shaped the initial roadmap. I just wonder if you'd be able to just briefly share with me maybe some of the short and long-term priorities? Because I think for people looking at this opportunity, they're interested to understand kind of what that looks like.
Of course. So, like many businesses and not-for-profits in particular, our IT infrastructure grew organically over many, many years. So we have invested resources and effort into redesigning our infrastructure. And just before the pandemic, we turned our attention to developing a digital strategy and created the CIO role in order to do that. So that strategy focuses on key enterprise platforms, including a 360-degree view of our constituents through an organizational CRM, not just one focused on fundraising or one focused on prevention, but something that looks at our constituents and how and when they interact with us. To leverage our data, we have a lot of data, and how can we leverage that fully? And to redesigning our digital presence using the principles of audience-centered design. The roadmap includes the replacement of some legacy systems and consolidating our platforms to reduce the significant technical debt that we've acquired over many years of organic growth. On top of that, we have the usual issues that everyone is grappling with, such as cybersecurity. Yeah. I think we've made some inroads, and we're just really ramping up now. We've started a few of the big projects, but there is still a lot of work to be done. I would imagine that within the next 2 to 3 years, we would have the majority of those large platforms in place. Yeah. But I certainly see digital transformation as something that we will continue to do as technology develops and changes. You'll get something in, and then a few years later, there'll be something else new, bigger, brighter that we'll have to turn our attentions to. So I think there's a lot of work to do. So I hope that answers your question.
Oh, it really does. I think it's an incredible opportunity for someone to really sink their teeth into. And as you say, but not only that, an opportunity to work with a business with real purpose that really is impacting on people's lives every single day as well, which I think this makes such a compelling opportunity for somebody as well.
So I hope so.
I think they're very exciting. So look, thank you for sharing. I think that's been some really great insight, and I think it will really help people to understand what you're looking to achieve.
Well, thank you, Anton.
Okay, cheers, Sarah.
Bye. So,
good morning, Lyrian. Thank you for finding some time today to talk to us about a bit more about Cancer Victoria and this opportunity. I guess I've already caught up with Sarah, and we've spoken about the mission and the purpose and the values of the organisation and a bit more about the role. I guess I was keen to learn from you a bit more about the fundraising aspect, and it's so critical to a charity, and also know that through your role you interact with the wider business, and you'll be interacting with the new CIO. So I'm just keen if you could maybe just talk a bit about that and kind of share how you do interact with the business.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, it's a really exciting organisation, but the fundraising and communications portfolio as part of that, I'm completely biased, but it's a real engine room for the organisation, and the team that I lead. We really collaborate across the whole organisation. We need to understand both the breadth and understand where we can go to get the depth as well, to know the full spectrum of what we do, whether that is understanding our prevention programs, whether that's understanding our cancer support line and knowing what people are calling up about at the moment. What is the most urgent thing they're worried about with their cancer experience or the cancer experience of their loved ones, and we might need to be understanding how we can inspire more people to take part in a community event that we've got, and get thousands of people walking the streets of Melbourne at night, dressed up in glitter, raising money for cancer. I mean, we really do work across the spectrum of the organisation, and that takes developing really great relationships and being able to really partner with all of the different areas of the business to kind of be great storytellers, bring the work that we do to life in a really kind of meaningful way, in a way that connects with people, but is also really efficient and, builds the trust of people and, supports the very important and impressive Cancer Council brand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess as you touched on there, from a technology perspective, the way that communication comes together and the importance of data and being able to crunch that data to be able to see the trends and patterns to help you have the most impact with the work that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. The digital transformation strategy that we have is really critical to both the work that we do now, but charting a path for the future. Yep. We really know that how we use, collect, get insights into our first party data is going to really help be game changing for us. And I think in particular the CIO role is such an important part of how we're going to get there. And, it's a really exciting role and there's a lot to do. And, working with our division will be a really core part of how we can help bring that to life and make sure that, we are using our data well, that we are able to harness that to, not just lift our work, but of the whole organization. How can we look at the way we work now and envision a different way? It's a really exciting, challenge on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as if you've touched on, alluded to there, you get to work with colleagues across the entire organization. And when I was speaking to Sarah, we were talking about how Cancer Council Victoria has been recognised for that great culture by winning the Voice 2021 Best Workplace Award. So congratulations for that. That's an incredible achievement. Based on your experience of being in the business, how would you describe the culture?
It was, I think it's fair to say it was a pretty emotional experience actually for us to find out that we had won that Voice Survey Award, to be in the health sector. Through, that survey came really in the heart of Melbourne's lockdowns, in, the height of the COVID crisis. Obviously, COVID is still with us, but really in the crisis. And to, we'd all been sent working from homes, working from our lounge rooms and offices and bedrooms and all of those things overnight. And, we're not a tech company. That was a bit clunky for us. We really had to pivot, to use that word, quite quickly. Yeah. But, it was amazing to see people really live our values and just show up with empathy, with compassion, day after day after day. And, it was a real honor to be able to work in the organization at that time when, sometimes the world felt like, it was a bit out of control around you. Being able to turn up every day and work alongside people who are all there trying to make it a better experience was amazing. And then to see that really reflected by the breadth of the staff, as an employee, I wouldn't have wanted to work anywhere else at that time. And, as we're coming out of COVID, the real joy of people running into each other again at water cooler moments. It's beautiful. It's just, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think probably what resonates for me actually from meeting a few people from Cancer Council Victoria, the thing that comes to mind straight away has been humility. I think you all do an incredibly important job and an invaluable job, and the impact you have on society. You're all incredibly humble about the work you do. And I think, again, that's a real testament to the culture that you have there.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. But, I really credit that with our CEO, Todd Harper. He leads with, humility, I think, in a really genuine way. And he's a very genuine and empathetic leader. And that allows, his leadership team, which I'm a part of, to lead in that way as well. And it really does allow that vulnerability piece that we all hear of that's so important. I see that day after day in our organization alongside the, excellent side of what we do. So it's a fantastic place to work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned there about obviously working as part of that leadership group, and the CIO will be part of that leadership group. So in terms of your perspective as a colleague, what do you think that the CIO will need to be to demonstrate to be successful in that role?
it's the role of CIO is, I think, one of the most, if not the most exciting role in the organization in this both short and long-term period. I mean, we've got a digital transformation strategy that, the whole organization is really behind, and, nailing that, I guess, the delivery of it, being able to communicate the vision of where we're going. But also, I think the new CEO really needs to be a brilliant leader of change. We really don't want to just bring in all of these new, systems, etc., and then do things the same old way. We really want to be transforming the way that we do things, and to make sure that we harness the potential of the digital transformation strategy. And, the CIO will be a real key in bringing that to life. So, knowing the vision, but being a brilliant change agent, and being able to, show progress against implementation in a way that keeps that momentum. Probably the three big challenges I would see from outside of the division.
Yeah, fantastic. And what an incredible opportunity for someone to come into a business with such a strong purpose, and such buy-in and commitment to where you want to go from a digital transformation perspective. And to be able to put that all together, I think it really is a compelling opportunity right now.
Look, if anyone needs a little bit of excitement or encouragement, just come and speak to anyone in my division about the digital transformation strategy, and you will have champions galore. So yeah, I agree. It really is an exciting role and an exciting time to join the organisation as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant. Look, thank you so much for your time, Lirian.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll speak soon.
Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.